Good evening, digital detectives, and welcome back to the Digital Sleuth. Tonight, we're diving into a cybercrime documentary that's less about shadowy nation-states and more about a video game. Imagine this. Friday, October 21st, 2016. Just after noon on the US East Coast, you try to open Twitter. Nothing. Reddit dead. Netflix won't stream your binge-worthy show. CNN. Gone. Suddenly, the internet, this vast, interconnected web we all rely on, starts to unravel. Millions across the US and Europe lose access to dozens of major websites. It feels like a full-blown digital apocalypse. Engineers, sysadmins, cybersecurity experts. They scramble. Is it a glitch? A massive, coordinated hack? Something far worse? By nightfall, a chilling truth emerges. This isn't just a bug. This is one of the largest cyber attacks in internet history. Everyone pointed fingers. Russia, China, the ever-elusive Anonymous. But the reality, the internet didn't break because of a nation-state. It didn't break because of a military. It broke because of Minecraft, a petty feud between gamers. And the kid who launched it, he might have lived right next door. How did a dispute over virtual blocks almost shut down the real world? And what can this incredible tale teach us about the very real, very present dangers of our interconnected digital lives? Stay with us. This is a story you won't want to miss. Minecraft, on the surface, is a blocky, whimsical game, often associated with kids and creative building. But beneath that innocent facade lies a massive online universe. Players from every corner of the globe connect to thousands of independently run Minecraft servers. Virtual worlds, where they build, compete, and socialize. And running one of these servers, it's not just a hobby. For many, it's a goldmine. Players pay real money for in-game perks, for access to exclusive content, or to join elite servers. A well-run server can generate serious cash. We're talking figures that would shock many parents. Some of these servers were pulling in over $100, a month. That's real money flowing from virtual blocks. In this booming, yet often unregulated, underground economy, competition isn't just cutthroat, it's brutal. If a server lags, experiences downtime, or simply goes offline, frustrated players will instantly flock to a rival. The stakes are incredibly high. This intense pressure led some server operators down a dark path: sabotage. In the shady underbelly of the Minecraft server scene, an arms race began. Rival server owners started deploying sophisticated cyber attacks to knock each other's operations offline, hoping to poach players and, crucially, their profits. These weren't simple pranks. These were often distributed denial of service, or DDoS, attacks. For those unfamiliar, a DDoS attack is essentially a digital mob storming a website or server. Imagine a legitimate website as a popular restaurant. A DDoS attack is like sending thousands of fake customers to the restaurant all at once. They don't order food, they just flood the entrance, occupy tables, and overwhelm the staff, preventing real customers from getting in. On the internet, this means flooding a target server with so much fake traffic that it buckles, crashes, and kicks everyone offline. But a DDoS isn't just one computer. It's distributed. It leverages a network of hijacked devices, a botnet, to amplify the assault. And where there's chaos, there's always someone looking to profit. A whole industry of DDoS for hire services sprang up. Some offered to launch attacks. Others sold protection from them. It was a digital Wild West. Enter our protagonist. In 2016, one young server owner, tired of the constant skirmishes and perhaps dreaming of total dominance, decided to end this arms race once and for all. He went by the online alias Anna Senpai. By day, he was a 20-year-old college student in New Jersey, majoring in computer science. His name was Paris Ja, and ironically, he even ran a small company that sold DDoS protection to Minecraft servers. giving him a front-row seat to the constant online firefights and the perfect vantage point to understand the vulnerabilities. Paris wasn't just fighting for server dominance. He was chasing something else: control, validation, perhaps even power. What happens when a gamer with god-complex fantasies builds a weapon the world can't stop? Along with a few online friends, this young man quietly began building a cyber weapon designed to utterly dominate the Minecraft server scene. They coded a piece of malicious software, malware, and sent it crawling across the internet. Its mission: hijack hundreds of thousands of unsuspecting devices to create a digital army at their command. This type of malicious network, an army of zombie gadgets infected with malware that obeys a master computer, is called a botnet. They found these devices everywhere, from outdated webcams in China to DVRs in Brazil, even unsecured home routers in your neighbor's house. And with just a few lines of code, they hijacked them. These were not powerful supercomputers. They were often cheap, poorly secured Internet of Things, or IoT, devices. Think smart appliances, security cameras, digital video recorders. Devices often shipped with default passwords like admin and rarely updated by their owners. This negligence created a gaping security vulnerability, a digital open door that Mirai ruthlessly exploited. This highlights a crucial lesson in cybersecurity. The weakest link often isn't the most complex system, but the simplest, neglected device. By late summer 2016, Anna Senpai's botnet was almost ready, and it was enormous. In its first 20 hours, their malware had infected over 65,000 devices, doubling in size every 76 minutes. At its peak, this botnet would include an estimated 300,000 to 600,000 compromised machines around the world. Each device, from a hacked webcam to a smart thermostat, could fire garbage data at any target on command. Individually, a hacked webcam isn't much of a threat, but 300,000 of them firing in unison, they can overwhelm almost anything. Paris and his collaborators named their creation Mirai, the Japanese word for future. He later admitted he named it after a favorite anime series. In hindsight, the name is chillingly fitting. Mirai represented the future of cyber warfare, a new kind of threat that few people, even in the cybersecurity community, truly saw coming. As Mirai swelled in size, Paris knew he was poised to do something big. He built this botnet to take out his Minecraft rivals, to win a petty feud over online bragging rights. What he didn't realize was that he was holding a new kind of internet superweapon in his hands, and he was about to pull the trigger. Paris thought he was building the ultimate cheat code, a way to decisively win a gaming feud. What he didn't realize was that he had just built a weapon powerful enough to knock entire countries offline. Mirai's first test came in September 2016, and it announced itself with a bang. Paris and his friends chose their targets. Not other Minecraft kids, but some of the biggest tech infrastructure providers on the planet. Their goal: to show off Mirai's firepower and to take down services that were shielding their Minecraft enemies. In late September, they pointed Mirai at a French cloud company called OVH, which happened to host a popular Minecraft server protection service. In an instant, Mirai swarmed OVH's networks with fake traffic, over 1 terabit per second at its peak. To put that in perspective, a terabit is 1,000 gigabits. This was an absolutely staggering volume, more data than many national internet backbones handle in total. At that moment, it was the largest DDoS attack in history. The company's defenses struggled. Even its advanced DDoS mitigation filter, nicknamed VAC, was completely overwhelmed. Mirai had just done the unthinkable. It brought one of the world's largest hosting companies to its knees, and Mirai was just getting started. A few days later, the attackers took aim at a high-profile target closer to home, the website of prominent cybersecurity journalist Brian Krebs. Krebs had recently published expose after expose on cybercriminal networks, uncovering numerous dark web scams and exposing operators of illicit services, perhaps as a show of bravado or revenge for his tenacious reporting. Paris unleashed Mirai on KrebsOnSecurity.com. The site was slammed with a torrent of traffic, measuring up to 665 gigabits per second, instantly knocking it offline. The assault was so massive that Krebs's longtime DDoS protection provider had to drop him. His site went dark. The message was clear: Mirai was the new beast on the block, and no one was out of reach. This was no longer just about Minecraft. This was about demonstrating raw, terrifying power. By now, the cybersecurity community was on high alert. Major DDoS mitigation firms, law enforcement agencies, and national certs noticed the colossal attacks and asked who could be behind this. At first, many assumed only a nation-state, with vast resources and strategic intent, could be responsible for such sophisticated and overwhelming attacks. The idea that a small group of gamers could orchestrate something of this scale seemed preposterous. In truth, the biggest attacks were coming from Paras and his small crew of Minecraft misfits, but nobody knew that yet. What everyone did know was that Mirai posed a dire new threat. Paris could sense the heat closing in. Every brazen attack made headlines and invited more scrutiny from investigators. Keeping Mirai's secret was getting harder by the day. The smart move would have been to lay low. But Mirai's creators chose a different path. They decided to cover their tracks by open-sourcing Mirai's code. In early October 2016, using his Anna Senpai handle, Paris released Mirai's source code on an underground hacking forum. He accompanied it with a brief note that struck a triumphant, yet wary, tone. When I first got into the DDoS industry, I wasn't planning on staying long. I made my money. There's lots of eyes looking at IoT now, so it's time to GTFO. In other words, he had milked this scheme for what it was worth. And with security researchers closing in, with lots of eyes on IoT, it was time to get out of the game. By dumping Mirai online for free, Paris likely hoped to obscure his own involvement. Once dozens of copycats started using the code, who could pin the original attacks on him, it was a bold gambit release, the deadliest DDoS weapon into the wild and slip away amidst the chaos. But it didn't take long for the plan to backfire catastrophically. By sharing Mirai with the world, Paris had effectively handed a loaded gun to anyone who wanted to sow chaos on the internet. Within days, criminal hackers, malicious actors, and even just mischief makers around the globe grabbed the Mirai code and set up their own botnets. Mirai variants started popping up, and the targets expanded far beyond the Minecraft world. The original architects of Mirai, Paris and his friends, lay low, watching from the shadows as their creation spread uncontrolled. But they weren't the only ones watching, because soon, Mirai would trigger a moment the internet would never forget. Mirai was no longer a secret. It was a loaded weapon, and anyone could now fire it. Then, just 3 weeks later, someone fired it, and the internet broke. October 21st, 2016. That morning, as people booted up their computers and phones, they noticed popular sites weren't working. Twitter, Netflix, Reddit, and many others were unresponsive. It wasn't a glitch. It was Mirai, now in the hands of unknown actors, launching a massive attack on DIN, a company that serves as a fundamental backbone of the internet. DIN operates critical DNS, or domain name system, servers. Think of DNS as the internet's phone book. When you type https www.google.com divided by search q equals the digital sleuth, com into your browser, DNS translates that human-readable name into the actual numerical IP address of the server where the website lives. Kill DNS, and the entire web effectively stops working. The attack came in waves throughout the day, rolling across the east coast of the US and then to parts of Europe. People on social media, those who could still connect, were asking. For many, it certainly felt like it. The DIN attack was different, bigger, smarter, and global. Dine later estimated that 100,000 or more malicious devices were blasting it with traffic, possibly over 1 terabit per second of data, an even bigger flood than the record-setting OVH attack. This assault ripped through the web, disrupting online services across large swaths of the United States and Europe. For nearly an entire day, major websites went offline or struggled to stay up. It was one of the largest outages in internet history, all caused by a weapon that, just weeks before, had been aimed at petty Minecraft squabbles. Now it was hitting the phone book of the internet, and everyone from ordinary gamers to Fortune 500 companies felt the impact. Panic and confusion spread in tech circles. Was this the start of a cyber war? The timing was ominous. Just weeks before a major U.S. presidential election, many feared a state-sponsored cyber war test, perhaps targeting critical infrastructure. But the real explanation was almost absurd. This chaos was collateral damage from a gamer feud. The Mirai Botnet, born out of a Minecraft server rivalry, had been let loose, and someone, possibly another gamer or a disgruntled hacker, had pointed it at Den. One cybersecurity director later said that when Den was hit, engineers across the industry snapped to attention. They realized this wasn't just a one-company problem. This could put the entire internet at risk. And somewhere, a college kid was watching it unfold. Mirai had forced the internet's guardians into crisis mode. By the end of October 21st, the worst had passed. Dine recovered, and services flickered back online. The immediate threat was over. But the wake-up call had been delivered loud and clear. This was not a theoretical scenario or a drill. A major chunk of the internet really had been knocked out. And as investigators began to pick up the pieces, the question on everyone's mind was, evidence quickly pointed to the Mirai malware, but Mirai's source code was public, and anyone could be using it now. The Dine attack, it turned out, was launched by some unknown party using Mirai. To this day, that specific attacker hasn't been conclusively identified, but the creator of Mirai, the person who wrote this weapon and set it free, that trail was growing hot. The world was still in shock. But behind the scenes, the FBI was closing in. And soon, the real identity of Anna Senpai would be exposed. The hunt for Mirai's mastermind was already underway. A multi-agency task force, including FBI agents and cybersecurity experts from companies like Google and Cloudflare, had been tracking the mysterious botnet since the record-breaking attacks in September. They noticed something curious early on. A lot of Mirai's targets had a connection to Minecraft. The investigators found themselves plunging into the bizarre world of Minecraft server wars and DDoS schemes. Elliot Peterson, an FBI agent on the case, later recalled asking, "Why are these Minecraft servers getting hit so often?" That question led them down a rabbit hole. As they dug deeper, they realized the Minecraft economy was huge and viciously competitive. Exactly the kind of environment where a weapon like Mirai could emerge. It's a classic true crime twist. The biggest threat emerged from the most unexpected place. Working together, the FBI and security researchers set up traps, known as honeypots, to study Mirai's behavior and trace its command signals. By watching the botnet in action, they started uncovering clues. Meanwhile, cybersecurity journalist Brian Krebs, still reeling from his own Mirai-powered attack, was also on the hunt. His tenacious investigation eventually led him to a name Paras Jha, a 21-year-old college student, a Minecraft player, and the creator of the tool that nearly broke the web. With intelligence from researchers and Krebs's findings, authorities closed in. In late 2017, a year after the internet outage, the case finally broke open. Paras Jha and 2 co-conspirators pleaded guilty in an Alaska courtroom to federal charges for creating and operating the Mirai botnet. It was a bizarre finale. The biggest cyber attack of 2016 had been orchestrated not by enemy nations or elite hackers, but by 3 college kids working from their dorm rooms and basements. Their motive was not espionage or warfare. It was simply to gain an edge in Minecraft. As part of their plea, Paras and his friends admitted that they built Mirai to knock out rival Minecraft servers. In the end, because they cooperated with the FBI on other cybersecurity investigations. Paris Jha and his co-conspirators received relatively lenient punishment, avoiding prison time and serving their sentences on probation and community service, but their names would forever be linked to one of the internet's most infamous attacks. The Mirai case sent shockwaves through the cybersecurity world. A teenager obsessed with a video game had inadvertently created a tool that almost anyone could use to threaten the stability of the entire internet. If that doesn't make us rethink our security priorities, what will Mirai is a cautionary tale. It began as a petty vendetta in an online game that spiraled into a global crisis, exposing how fragile the internet can be. A young man's attempt to win a Minecraft feud ended up unleashing a monster that brought down major pillars of the web. The Mirai attacks became one of the biggest wake-up calls in cybersecurity history, revealing alarming vulnerabilities in our connected world. Millions of ordinary IoT gadgets, security cameras, baby monitors, home routers, were quietly hijacked via default passwords and turned into unwitting accomplices of a cyber attack. Mirai proved that a few tech-savvy kids with bad intentions could disrupt the lives of millions. So, what can we, as digital citizens, learn from this incredible cybercrime documentary? How can we fight, prevent, and recover from such digital threats? First, change default passwords immediately. This is perhaps the most critical takeaway. Many IoT devices come with generic, easily guessable default usernames and passwords, like admin over admin or user over 12345. Change them immediately to strong, unique passwords. This single step would have prevented Mirai from compromising the vast majority of devices it infected. If you're unsure how, consult your device's manual or the manufacturer's website. Second, keep your software updated, just like your computer or phone. IoT devices receive software updates that patch security vulnerabilities. Enable automatic updates if possible, or regularly check for and install them manually. An outdated device is a vulnerable device. Third, use a strong, unique password manager. This isn't just for IoT devices, but for all your online accounts. Reusing passwords makes you vulnerable to credential stuffing attacks, where attackers use leaked credentials from one breach to try and access your other accounts. A password manager generates and securely stores complex, unique passwords for everything. Fourth, enable two-factor authentication, 2FA everywhere possible. 2FA adds an extra layer of security beyond just a password. Even if a hacker has your password, they can't access your account without the second factor. Like a code sent to your phone, this is your first line of defense against phishing attacks, which often try to trick you into giving up your login details. Fifth, be wary of phishing attacks. These are still one of the most common vectors for cybercrime, often leading to financial fraud or identity theft. Always check the sender's email address. Look for grammatical errors or unusual requests, and never click on suspicious links or download attachments from unknown sources. No legitimate company will ask for your password via email. Sixth, secure your home network. Use a strong password for your Wi-Fi. Ensure your router's firmware is up to date. And consider setting up a guest network for visitors to keep your main network isolated. The internet survived Mirai's onslaught, but it will never forget the day a gamer known as Ana Senpai brought much of the online world to its knees. Paris didn't plan to break the internet, but once Mirai was unleashed, not even he could stop it. A petty gaming feud became a global wake-up call. And it all started with a single Minecraft server. The lesson of Mirai remains urgent. Our digital world's strength is also its weakness. Everything is interconnected. A feud in a video game shouldn't be able to knock entire countries offline. Yet, Mirai proved it could. The fight against cybercrime is ongoing, and knowledge is your strongest shield. If you found this cybercrime documentary insightful, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the Digital Sleuth for more deep dives into internet mysteries and cybersecurity, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay vigilant, stay secure, and I'll see you in the next investigation.